It's deep dive time on Wednesday Sportsbit, and let's bring in a first-time guest, long-time listener, first-time caller, right? First-time guest, BMOC. Well, that's not his real name. His real name is Jeff Nadu, but everyone knows him as BMOC here at SBR. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Teddy, good to be with you. You are one of my favorite people in this business. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you. You're saying that. My clients who have been betting my college basketball this season are not saying that. I have not had a great college basketball year. That's putting it mildly. So let's bring in someone who is having some success in college hoops this year, and let's talk about some of the bet on and bet against teams for the Power 5 conferences. But first, Jeff, BMOC, who are you and why should people care about your opinion?
I think people should care because, Teddy, I've been called a walking college basketball encyclopedia. I study these teams day in and day out, 351 teams. I could probably give you an opinion on all of them. I love sports betting. I've done it for years, and I have a great way of just being able to rattle off things off the top of my head. I got a good memory, and I got to thank my family for that.
How about your success rate? Are you having a good year in college basketball, a bad year? What are you winning with and losing with so far in college hoops?
I've had a real good actually, I've had a real good year in college basketball. I had a small stretch at the beginning of January where conference play started where I was a little bit hit or miss, but I've hit 11 of 15 at my website, bmocwins.com. I'm off of a nice win last night. So, yeah, it's been a nice year so far, and I've done pretty well on my show here at SBR with the odds couple that's tracked as well. So,
yeah, I know that you and I first got introduced on a Google Hangout a couple of weeks ago. We'll be doing that, of course, every Thursday night now, 8 p.m. Pacific time. You can find all the details at SBR, or, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Teddy_covers and at Paulie Howard. BMOC, enough yip yap. Let's get down to business right here. I ask you for the top 3 teams you can make money with and the top 3 teams you can make money betting against in Power 5 conferences. You gave me 6 teams. Let's talk about them. Top 3 to bet on. And I was a little bit surprised because the top 3 bet on teams moving forward that you gave me all have winning point spread marks already. Let's start with the Purdue Boilermakers. They've been real good. What do you think's undervalued about Purdue right now?
I think, Teddy, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's what I look at with all 3 of these teams. For instance, with Purdue, lately, over the last couple of years, they haven't had that great guard play that some of these other teams have. And to win in the tournament, you have to have guard play. We know they have the bigs. We know they have a great coach in Painter. They've covered numbers, but it's Carson Edwards and Dakota Mathias that have really kind of anchored them from a point spread perspective and a winning perspective. They're able to go in, not have to really. Last year against Little Rock, they struggled because they did not have a point guard that could handle some of the defense that Little Rock played in the tournament. So I think undervalued-wise with them is the fact that over the years they haven't had a great guard play. This year, I think they do. I think they have that. And I think, tonight you're going to find out a lot about them, or last night, whenever we record this, against a tough Michigan State team, because that's a team that's had their number for a while.
Yeah, of course, we're recording before the games, just before the games tip off on Tuesday for Wednesday's show, so we'll know a little bit more about Purdue after the fact, but you'd say Purdue undervalued. Now, my philosophy when it comes to college hoops for the first half of the season versus the second half of the season changes dramatically. First half of the season, who's good and who's bad. Second half of the season, who the markets are over and underreacting to. You're saying, and I don't know if this is your strategy at all, but you also think Arizona is a team that continues to offer value moving forward, even after that big upset win over UCLA this past week.
Yeah, because I think early on today, I think a lot of people are still all in on Oregon and UCLA and even USC. Arizona for a long time, Teddy, has not had they've had a good offense. I think this year they have a great offense. They can hang with the likes of some of these big boys. Alonzo Trier coming back. Mark Cannon was very much an unknown coming into the season. I mean, Teddy, he's like Dirk Nowitzki 2.0. This kid's a young Dirk Nowitzki. I love it. They're well coached. They play great defense, and they're grabbing 32% of their misses. They've also been a great ATS road team. As far as the way I cap basketball quickly, Teddy, I look at trends. I look at players. I look at, is this team better than the other team? And in college, that seemed to do a great thing for me over the years, not only with football and with basketball. I think they're undervalued because I think UCLA, Oregon, those are the big boys. Not a lot of people talked about Arizona coming into the year.
And the funny thing is, that strategy, that simple strategy for college basketball, is this team better than the other team? God, as you mentioned, it paid dividends. You've gotten dividends with it anyway, so far this season and in the past. The third team you mentioned is a bet on, Notre Dame, but we're a little bit short on time, so I want to move to your 3 bet against. Notre Dame's a team we talked about extensively yesterday here on Sportsbit. So let's talk about the 3 bet against teams, and 2 of them are coming from the same conference. We've got Georgetown and Creighton as a pair of bet against squads in your mind moving forward.
Yeah, Creighton's been a really good bet on, Teddy, we know, but losing Mo Watson is really destructive for this team. I mean, this guy was so imperative to their success. Teddy, 1,648 total points for Creighton this year. 630 have come from Mo Watson, and he's been involved with. That's 38% of their offense gone. He is a senior. He's the glue that gets them going. And you saw Saturday, they struggled to get stops. Big thing for them. We can say, well, they have Justin Patton. Keep in mind, last 2 games, Justin Patton has inabilities to not guard without fouling. He's been on the bench for long periods of time. I think it's going to catch up with them. It started to catch up with them the other day. They looked horrendous on the defensive end. They're a bet on for me. I just don't like them without Mo Watson.
Sure. And, of course, Tennessee, the final team on your list of bet against squads. What do you think about the Vols moving forward?
No leader. I'm not a big fan of Rick Barnes. This team has struggled to win at home. And look, Teddy, at the end of the day, they've been a wreck at times defensively. I mean, they couldn't beat Ole Miss without DeAndre Burnett. This is a team that lost to East Tennessee State. They have no leader. I've watched them play. They look disinterested at times. I don't think they're ready to compete in a bad SEC. I think they're a middling team, and I think we continue to see it with this squad week after week. They're a bet on for me going forward.
Good stuff, BMOC. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your input. How do people get a hold of you if they're interested?
You can find me on Twitter at Jeff, JFFNADU. You can also find me at BMOCwins.com. You can also find me on SPR Forum every day, Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Odds Couple. I also have a show Saturday morning where I take questions on any game you want me to talk about on Saturday morning.
Sounds like you can find them all over the place. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. Best of luck tonight and all week long.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to SPRpicks.com.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.